Okay, yeah, thanks for that. So, so let's take a step back. I know we've started this chapter already, but just introduce yourself to me. You tell me about your past, your present, and what you're hoping to achieve in the future. Let's say in 2023. When you do that, then I will ask you a couple of questions just to get to know you more, and then I'll tell you what the next steps would be. Something like that. Yeah. So.
Okay. Cool. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, the volume has reduced again.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just trying my laptop.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, I think my laptop is trying to connect with another camera. So,
Oh, yeah, that happens to me too.
yeah, so it's just okay. It's interesting. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, introduce yourself, basically.
Okay. So yeah, my name is Frances Mary. A Nigerian. I'm currently in the UK. So I have a background in in industrial production engineering from my undergrad. I also have a bit of work experience, so over 4 years experience as a project officer and also programs and people management. Have over 2 years of events planning and management as well. And I eventually started graphic design about 4 years ago and dived into UI UX design about 2 years ago, just before my master's program. So I did a master's. I have a master's degree in product design and technology, where
Say
I
that
did
again. So your master's is in what?
product design and technology.
Oh, wow. That must be really technical. I mean, product design in academics is different from UX design. So
Yeah.
how is that?
Yeah, so it was a lot of like CAD drawings and electronics and yeah, and a whole lot. I think also because of my school, they did a lot of things related to sustainable design.
Oh,
So in terms of solving real life problems, like some community problems, a lot of concern in terms of materials and manufacturability of products and things like that.
yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't really do anything related to UI UX design. My master's degree.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But I try to chip it in once in a while, especially when like maybe we're giving it a project or to find a solution. I try to see how I can merge hardware products and also an app. So that was like my own way of like
And how
bringing
was that? Did you succeed?
um it was hard because of timelines, especially. So when it was the hardest was for my final year project. So what I worked on was designing an SOS system. So trying to, so an SOS system in sense that I wanted to develop a hardware and also a software that work independently of each other, but basically kind of create a form of inclusive feeling and safety feeling for people within cities. So it was hard because on one hand, I had to design and develop the hardware and ensure that the electronics was working. At the same time, I was trying to take online UI UX course so I can develop the application as well. Eventually, I was able to do some prototypes. The electronics of the hardware wasn't really working, but the prototype versions in terms of just the looks and feel and the size was good. and also for the application, it wasn't developed because I needed assistance in terms of getting a software developer, but I was able to show a prototype of how it
Okay.
looks like.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So what are you hoping to achieve now, like in 2023?
Yeah, so in 2023, so at 1st of December, I wanted to dive into UI UX design. So my plan was always to really learn UI UX design properly, because I never really did any course initially. I just went from graphic design. So about 2 years ago, I co-founded a company in Nigeria. It's a food tech company. So what we do is focus on grocery and ensuring that the food procurement process for every African was seamless. So I used that time to develop an application for the business, but I never really learned some like nitty-gritty of it. And so my plan was, after my product design masters, I would do a bit of UI UX design for about 2 to 3 years and then go into user research. But based on, so right now I'm a bit conflicted because I've been going through some user research, especially like 2 user research full-time roles. And I really, because obviously while trying to prepare for like interviews, you read up a lot on like what it's about and what we do. And so I really fell in love with that aspect. So I felt that, oh, instead of waiting for that long, maybe I should go into it now. So but that also depends on the feedback I get from this. But yeah, so with or without the feedback, my plan is to still really strengthen my UI UX design skills. I started the Google UXD course, but God, God, but we're going basically. It's a bit of on and off. I think about 2 courses out of the 7, but I think it's just taking longer than usual. So I want to really give myself that target to like really finish it before the next 3 months.
Okay, so do you have a portfolio and CV that you've been using for job applications? Can I see can you see those?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay. While you're fetching those, have you been using cover letters for your application?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see that too.
Okay.
No, actually, I wouldn't like to see it. I would like to hear you read it.
Okay.
So maybe when you send in the links, then you can read that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
I'm going to drop the link to
okay.
my portfolio in.
Okay. So I've seen it. So the jobs you've been applying to, on what platforms have you been applying to the jobs?
So a whole lot of them are from LinkedIn, but also a whole lot of them kind of take me to like the company website. So many of them use like Workday for their application. So that's like where a few like say the ones in Capital One where it's like on their website. So I just sometimes I like search for a company and go to the career section and apply from there. But 80% of the time is through LinkedIn's redirection.
Okay. So okay, so you say you've been applying for jobs. So can you take me through your job application process? I just want to see how you go about it.
Okay. So it always comes from LinkedIn. I also kind of registered on Indeed and Glassdoor, but somehow I always eventually, even if I apply for a job on Indeed, I still see it on LinkedIn. I still apply on LinkedIn. It's just I trust LinkedIn better, funny enough. But so what I do is, so initially I had set a couple of reminders for the type of roles and experience levels I'll be looking for. So I get reminders on it daily basis, and I just go to, so what I do is, from the reminder, or if I just go directly to LinkedIn and look for jobs within that space, I go through if I see any job that is interesting to me, I go through the job description. I go through some of them. If it's a grad job, I try to check the start date, if it's September or if it's earlier than that. If they are flexible to like early resumption, then I check for location as well. I wouldn't want to work in London, but sometimes when I see some jobs that look interesting, I just apply. I also look at the work flexibility. So if it's remote or hybrid, and how that matches with the pay that is stated there. For the ones that don't have pay, I just majorly focus on like job experience, the job description, the years of experience they would like the person to have, and the expectations from the candidate. So if all of that if it aligns with what I'm looking for, one way or the other, either be it by job description or the reputation of the company, I apply. So so either go through easy apply, or most times, which is like 70% of the time, go through like the redirection of the apply button, and then I just like fill out.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you got a feedback on some of them. You're in the job application process. How many are those, and how has the process been?
Okay, so the processes have been a bit dicey. So I am in the recruitment process of about 4 roles, not four jobs right now. 2 of them are grad jobs. One is and the other 2 are entry-level roles. I'm in the final stages of one, and the final stage of the other one, one of the grad jobs, but I still have like an assessment to do in January. So so one of the jobs haven't I don't know, it's been over a month or so that I haven't heard back from them, but I'm in this stage where, well, the email said, oh, I don't have to do anything at this stage. They're just like going through my application and stuff like that. So that was like the 3rd stage I was in there. Every other one has just been like very creative rejection letters, email. So nowadays it's just I don't know. At the first start I was a bit really, really down, but I guess after a while I just realized that, yeah, it shows I'm doing something, and I'm not dull to the fact that I'm in other, like, I got into other like recruitment processes.
Yeah.
It's been a bit tedious, not going to lie, because I'm not used to, like, in Nigeria we don't have this, I don't know, maybe. So I came out of like undergrad when NYSC, but I got a job after that. I didn't have to go through like 5 to 6 stages of recruitment. So going through that now, I'm like, is this really necessary? To the extent that the one I'm in the final stage has just 3 stages. And because I did like 6 stages of some or 5 stages of some, I'm like, are you sure this one is legit? Why is it just 3 stages? So, but yeah, that is.
Okay, so I'll say that 3 stages is just ideal. There shouldn't be more than 3 stages on a normal before they give you an offer or tell you bye-bye. I mean, I don't get processes at 5. Personally, one of the very first questions I ask when I discuss with a recruiter is, how many stages are in the whole process? If I hear anything more than 3 or 4 processes, I shut down. Like, I will be the one not to respond to you. Because I already know that it's going to be too draining on me, except if the company is really, 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 really like worth it. But then those kind of companies don't do 5 stages, 6 stages. Even Google, okay, let me talk about Facebook that I know. Even Facebook, or Meta, like they call themselves now, they don't even have 5, 6 stages. I think they have just three stages. Yeah, I think they just have 3 stages. So like, why? I don't know.
Yeah.
What was all that for? So, well, I totally get. So I'm looking at your portfolio, and I'm looking at the Power mobile application. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well because E is missing. So Power.
Power, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking at that one, and I would say it's pretty interesting. Was that your school project?
Yeah, that was my final year project.
I guessed as much. I like it, to be honest, and I like that you put that as, I think that was was it your first project? I think it was the
Yeah, I think
first
it was
one.
the first thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I just find it a bit problematic though that I can't open these projects as different tabs. I'm so used to opening things as different tabs, and these ones are refusing to open as different tabs. I don't know, maybe it's just a limitation of weeks, but yeah, so I think something that I think you need to improve on would be your just layout, really, your font and visual hierarchy. So for instance, I am looking at the section, let's see, so I scroll down to the problem section,
Yeah.
and it seems like your fonts, you're lettering are too spaced out, like then some are really big, some are small. So I think you need to look at that. Even though looking at this particular case study, it shows that you have you really have strengths when it comes to UX design, but it doesn't really tell me that you have much of strength with UI design, which is kind of a contradiction because when I look at the design you came up with, it's actually not too bad. So you need to pay attention to your fonts and stuff like that. So I know even though it's just a template and you put together the website, but yeah, even the portfolio itself can tell me that, oh, this person is not what I want. Meanwhile, it's not true. So the other thing I would like to say is, maybe, if possible, if you can have a second look at, let's say, this case study and try to remove some things that are not exactly relevant to core UX or product design, because the kind of jobs you're probably applying to are digital product design, right? So if there are some parts when you look at it and you'd be like, okay, so this is not too relevant, or because as it is, it's really lengthy. What you need is it to be that when a hiring manager is looking at your portfolio, they should be interested in, yes, finishing the whole thing, but they should have enough time. But don't forget that as they're looking at your own portfolio, they're looking at several other people's portfolios. So you need to like make it not too long, just the right length, because you want them to take in as much as possible. So maybe things that are like really core to like maybe the hardware part, you can take those parts off, or maybe you can separate your portfolios. Like if you want a more detailed one, you can click here to read more. Maybe this really detailed one, then you can have like an abstract sort of, so that you can be sure that they actually go through the whole thing and get the gist, something like that. Yeah. So maybe the parts that you can really focus on the so-called abstract could be the part where you call the project. You can reduce the paragraphs rather than having 2 full paragraphs there. You can reduce to maybe just 1 paragraph. Focus on the intention behind the project. Then the problem statement, I like the problem statement, is straightforward. Maybe you need to focus on that rather than maybe the statistics may not, yeah, the statistics is good. It's actually not bad. Just kind of rearrange stuff, remove things that are extra, just get rid of them. Like the part of the hierarchy, the part under the goal, the hierarchy of objectives was developed in methodology based on the theory of change. So you can remove that whole part. I know that's more from the hardware and the academics point of view. So anything that is core academics, you can just like remove them. Any extra diagrams that are not really like so important, remove them. Try to focus just more of priority. Then I wanted to, okay, so let me look at your CV if I continue. So your CV, if it feels so tight, like it feels choking, everything in one page and the text are like everything is crammed together. So what I'll suggest is freshly, 2 pages not bad. 2 pages is not bad. So I think you should reorganize the CV. Most important things in your CV would be maybe the summary part, reduce it, it's way too long. I like that I like that you brought out your personality. To be honest, this is one of the things that I tell people a lot. Your personality needs to shine out when somebody is looking at your application. So like the part where you said, I enjoy conducting user research and doing design thinking and inclusive design approaches to help identify problems people face and blah, blah, blah. So maybe you can just reword it, remove extra and make the sentence a bit shorter, stuff like that. So reduce the whole paragraph. Let's not more than 3 lines, 4 lines. I can read, I'm seeing of like 8 lines here. So maybe cut it by half. Then experience. So your experiences, rather than writing them as paragraphs, why not use bullet points? Bullet points can help to make it more scannable and more readable very quickly. Again, remember that this probably will not dwell on your CV more than a few seconds. So the way it happens is that the very first step of a recruitment process is most times a hiring manager or a recruiter that is looking at it. And those people at that time are not judging you based on your technical skills. They're judging you based on culture fit. Like that's all. It's culture fit. Even if they tell you culture fit is at the last phase, the reality is that culture fit is always the first phase. They might officially now do it afterwards, but so that culture fit thing, they'll want to just scan through like, okay, is this the right person for us? If yes, let's go. Let's move the person to the person that will look at the technical part. So your portfolio is actually not even important in the very first phase. They might just look at it and, oh, it looks good, but it's not really what those first people are looking at. I want to quickly hear your cover letter, at least the first. You have it on? Yeah, let me quickly hear that before we're almost out of time, but before we go on, yeah.
Okay. The hiring manager, Maiden. Dear hiring manager, I am sending you this in response to the job posting for the UX designer role at Maiden. I'm very much interested in this position and it would be a great opportunity to be joining your team. I completed my master's degree in product design and
technology. It's okay. It's okay. So I have to be honest, that is just bland. That is, it blends too much with what everyone else would normally write. What you have done there is just do the standard. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it is bland. Yeah, that's a good one. Let me write it down. Not bad. Thank you. Yeah, so let me write it for you. Yeah, so what I would prefer is a situation where you come out with, okay, so look at the part of your CV where you said you enjoy something, what your strengths are, blah, blah, blah. That's what you should lead with. As a matter of fact, cover letter is just you telling the hiring manager why you're the best person for the job. That's just it. It's not about you. That's to the hiring manager, dear hiring manager, blah, blah, blah. If you look at many of these job descriptions, you will see the name of the person that actually puts the job there, especially on LinkedIn. I think 80% of the time you would see the name of the person. So how about calling the person's name exactly in the cover letter? So that's one major thing I would like you to do. Also, let your personality and your real self, let it come out in your cover letter, rather than just the usual a graduate, master, the blah blah blah. That's not relevant. Like you're a master of whatever, nobody cares about it. Even people that don't go to any school, they don't really care about all those things, especially in product design. So it will not give you any. You can put down as an afterthought, maybe when you're wrapping up, like you just completed it. But the important thing is, why should we hire you? Why should we hire you above other people? what value do you bring out to our team? What research have you done about us? That's another thing. You must have done some research about the company, something about the company you like. Those are the kind of things that should be there. Yeah, so your CV is not bad, but it could be improved on. Breaking down into 2 pages. Your experience, of course, should be at the top somewhere. Increase the font size. It feels really small, maybe because everything's in 1 page. Remove anything that is not relevant to product design. Get rid of it. Let's see. Try to not, especially at this phase, try to not seem like you've worked on too many senior projects. The reason is, actually, I've not been telling people this, but it just occurred to me. I think you're the first person I'm telling you this. The thing is, in your CV, if you look at, if there is not a gradual career progression, it might send the wrong message. So it usually looks good when people say, oh, I was lead product designer, or this, that. It looks good, but the message it might be sending to the recruiter or the hiring manager is like, oh, this person is overqualified for this, or this person will find it hard fitting into the team, things like that. Those are the kind of message it will be most likely sending to. I know that's what it will send to me if I was reviewing such CV. Like if I see things like, I see some people, they'll say head of design or team. Okay, I can see it in yours, design team lead. Try to downplay that a little bit. Not that you're trying to be humble, but because of the kind of roles you're trying to get right now, especially because you're saying design team lead. If it was like, say you were maybe in HR and you were the head of HR, for instance, that's different because it's a different field. But you're in design and you want to get maybe an entry-level role or a mid-level role, you can't say you were design lead. Now, why are you coming to get an entry role, right? So something like that. So maybe it's just rewording, really. Try to reword it. You could say, I don't know, instead of saying design team lead, you could say, I don't know, what would you say, really? I have to give it some thought. Let's say, I'm not sure what, okay, so it was a school thing. So I'm sure if you think about it, you find a way to reword that since it was a school thing. Then also try to put the projects that are more relevant at the top, regardless of the dates you did it. I know most people arrange their CV by date, but arrange your CV experience more by relevance of the project. So maybe the one you did, UI design, design something, and then even the projects and experiences can all be on that one section. You don't need to have a separate section for selected projects. You do everything. Since you don't have too much, just say work experience / project or project / work experience, list everything and bullet points all the important, the relevant things in each project or in each work experience. And that way you can get rid of extra things that are not relevant. Like saying you were personal assistant now, that's not relevant, remove it. Like, do you want to get personal assistant to a designer job? Like, so stuff like that, get rid of it. And yeah, oh my, we spent way longer than I thought on this section. But before you ask me your questions, let me tell you what I've been trying to do. I've just been trying to see if I can help you. More of diagnosis, because this is one of several sessions. There are 4 other sessions that will be starting in January, most likely, I'm not sure, first or second week in January. And there'll be group sessions. The very small group though, between 5 to 10 people. And the focus of this group is strictly on getting a job. It won't be about, what is product design or basics of product design or stuff like that. It will be more of a transformational coaching where I'll be sharing with you the platforms you need to be on, assisting in setting up your profiles on these platforms, your LinkedIn profile, especially how to optimize that, because what recruiters and HR managers do more these days is more of headhunting. They do more of that than waiting for results from vacancies. That's why sometimes applications get lost because they've headhunted who they want to headhunt. And reviewing your CV, I've done quite a lot of that already, assisting in cleaning up. The same thing with your portfolio. One thing I would say about your CV and portfolio is that always think of it as if it's a product. Create your CV and your portfolio as if it's a product. And yes, it's a product because your users of that product are the hiring manager or the recruiter. So always look at it from that point of view. Like, it is actually a product I'm building. I need to do research. I need to do this. I need to do that. Something like that. Then cover letter is something that, well, I've kind of bulldozed your cover letter. Sorry about that. We'll be focusing a lot on cover letter, how to make your personality and how to make your interest shine forth, to show how you're going to bring more money to the company, especially if it's a for-profit company. That is all they care about. So, and then mock interviews. This one is important if you are, or it depends on how proactive you are, really. Like, you already applying for jobs. If you start applying for some other ones, I'll assist with the process, maybe even helping you look at your application. Like, is this actually okay? Things like that. And then the whole process. Then job links. That one is because I need to be able to, I've realized that a lot of jobs, there are a lot of one chance jobs. But they are usually the signs in the job links and even during the interviews, but many people are not able to see the signs. So I'll be assisting, like showing some of these pointers. Then lastly is specializations. And I'll refer back to something you said earlier, which is that you want to specialize in UX research. So you don't need to wait for 2 years. Yeah, start right now. User research starts right now. Homework is the first homework. Go ahead and Google UX research portfolios. Go and see what they look like. And you can still be a generalist, but have a niche that you love a lot, that you specialize in. For instance, me, I do all parts of UX design, but my core would be strategy, research, things like that. So you can have a niche. So I'll be assisting, like you getting a specialization in UX and a possible niche, which I know might change in 6 months time, but it's always good to have like a niche that is like, it grounds you, something like that. Yeah. So these sessions are not going to be free. It's going to be paid. It's £100 only for all the sessions, not per session. So there are 4 sessions. I'll give you more information about the specific dates. Like I said, it's going to be a group session. Very small group, and yeah, I'll send you an email with the summary of our discussion and your next steps. You should expect the email maybe within the hour or so. In the email, you see deadline of payments, which is actually 24th, which is 2 days time. However, I set the deadline, like I said, because there are certain things you must do before the session starts. That you paid is not good enough. I will not really see you as part of my class if you don't do what I say you should do. Then also because also there are some people that sent me email like, oh, I'll need like an extension, something. I'm not able to make up. But then it's fine. Those are on individual basis conversation. But if I get the class filled up before then, well, yeah. So expect my email, like I said. We are actually out of time and my Zoom is about to bolt us out. Yes. So I know you probably have questions, but quickly, what we'll do is just join back the link. It's going to bolt us out like right now. So join back the link and you can just ask me your question. Okay? Okay. Yeah.